Kingy, yeah, we're all very worried about any of the head clashes of Graham Bale. His history, obviously, the Melbourne Football Club, they're on the side of caution.
Yeah, hopefully it's precautionary as much as anything.
Let's hope so. Well, big quarter of football, big 5 minutes here. Really, Melbourne need to kick the first two, you think, to have a realistic chance of victory in this match.
Cox and Jamar go again. Jamar was able to angle it down. And it's just a slight high contact. And the Eagles not blinking, just moving quickly. Shuey in deep. Kennedy kicks through. Chuckle was manhandled there by Garland. The umpire begs to differ, and McDonald takes it out of bounds.
The umpire was just caught a little bit too far away and blindsided a little bit, so therefore didn't see to make that call. You're right, Hutto. Looked like a free kick to Kennedy.
Cox and Jamar engage again, battling for that front position. No one could have a real telling tap on the play there. Hams, he's gone down again, and he's won it again.
He hasn't got it, has he?
Yep.
Jeez.
You just got to go low. You've got to almost go in and say, I'm going to tackle this bloke around the knees.
You know what, you've got to not pin his arms anymore. You've got to actually just get him around the waist. Let him get a handball off, because the way he works, and if you try and pin that arm, as soon as he feels a hand on the arm, and that's his technique, and that's fine. He gets away with it, and it's good play.
So Hams comes out, and it's going to take a special kick from there. The angle looks absolutely brilliant.
Worst possible start for the Bears. Worst possible start. And look, you know that he's very good at getting down. He gets down low. Look how low he is, and then he throws that. He goes back before contact. Young Jack Viner, he knows he's done, but you've just got to almost drop yourself at the knees as you tackle and try to get him around the thighs and the hips. You've got to overcorrect and go so low that you've got no chance of getting him high.
So 9-2, 56, 11-6, 72, 16 points the difference. So Hams, living up to his name, as we said a little bit earlier, just made sure he got the free kick. Viney gave away 2 free kicks in that opening foray, but he got the centre break on that occasion. Demons need to lift. 16 points is the biggest margin in the game so far.
Some light rain falling down here, Ed. I think we might see some heavy rain following very soon.
Okay, so these goals at the moment are probably worth double if the rain starts to come. As Marsden brings the ball out wide, Demons seem to have a whole lot more momentum going, and fans get into displeasure of the Melbourne fans. It's a beautiful kick. So his last 2 disposals have been perfect.
I've got to say one thing about Jack Grimes. I like him as a player, but he's too defensive-minded in that he sweeps a half a possession behind his man all the time. He let Hams lead up that time. He was sitting 10 metres off him. He does it all too often. He's got to learn that he needs to shut down his opponent before he then zones off and gives a chop out.
Jack Darling's kicked 2. The Eagles have kicked 5 of the last 6. Darling and Kennedy have provided 4 of them. And Darling's kick is just swinging off and hits the post. In the last metre, it was online all the way. They dodge a ball at Melbourne. Kingy.
Good news for the Melbourne Football Club. Rowan Bale is actually back on the field at the moment. It's all clear, thumbs up from that concussion test, which is a great sign, a great story. He's been concussed twice in 10 days through the course of February, so just hope he gets through the rest of this game okay.
Mark taken on the wing by Mitch Brown. Of course, still no Eric McKenzie, their prime defender, along with Darren Glass, and Bo Waters was a late withdrawal today. So they are down for personnel in defence, the Eagles. Schofield. Marston's played a pretty good game, up to possession 19. It's a reflection of that. Hill relaxed a little, but still took the mark. And they've had some good, deep, tall targets. And one of them down there is Sinclair, who just takes the mark completely unimpeded.
Yeah, that's too easy. Looks like Garland was his man at that particular point in time, and he just got caught under the foot.
I guess all attention on Darling. And,
But it is, but it's the second time we've seen this quarter. The one that Darling took before, he got goal side of his opponent to take an uncontested mark. This time it's Sinclair who gets goal side of his opponent to take the mark. You see there.
I don't even know if it was Garland's man. I think he's playing on Kennedy.
Comes in and pops it through for his second goal at AFL footy. So Suddenly the margin is 23. So Rowan Bale back on the ground, as Kingy said. And straight away.
He's got to
turn the shot back.
When this kick comes in, you can see Colin Garland. He's actually on Josh Kennedy. It might be James Seller that got short.
Yeah. The handover didn't work then.
I think it was James Seller.
So we said at the start of this quarter, the Demons, for a realistic approach to winning this game, probably need to kick the first two. Unfortunately for them, and fortuitously for the West Coast, it's the Eagles who've kicked the first 2 goals. They're out to a 23-point lead. Melbourne must fight back. Clark is grabbed up and thrown to the ground by Selwood. Inside 50 it goes. Punched away from the Melbourne defence. Sylvia couldn't quite get his hand on it. Comes to Lacroix to Marsden. A beautiful kick around the body. It's a magnificent kick. 3 in a row to the West Coast Eagles.
And right now it's alarm bells for the Melbourne Footy Club, Johnny. Mitch Clark getting involved in a few things. And I reckon he was a bit stiff. Scott Selwood looked like he played on after he gets the free kick. He tackles. They're saying that he didn't make an effort. OK, that's fine.
Maybe lucky to get a free kick.
Yeah, but then you watch Selwood here. He's off. He's playing on. You no way knowing can you take that back and give him another go, umpire. I'm sorry, that's an incorrect decision.
Things are getting a bit heated here at the G.
It's alarm bells for Melbourne because, John, they don't want to undo the good work in the first half by just dropping off.
Well, West Coast, all they're doing is playing on at every opportunity, and you can tell that was a directive at half-time. John Worsfold would have spoken to him about that. Just get the ball going our way.
16-2 the disposals for the quarter thus far in West Coast favour. Kerr wheeling the footy out to a teammate, to Butler, to Marsden, to Gaff, into the clear, to half forward. He's here again to take them out. Hands got it, kept on going. The call from Kennedy was kick it back over my head because I'm too strong, and I'll mark it now. Which way's the free going? It's going to Kennedy.
Oh, no. He was out of position going, he can't believe it.
Well, he had his kicking boot on in the third quarter after not being able to strike it straight in the first. 3 goals to his name. And the Melbourne fans, it's fair to say, are not happy. And Kennedy's kick will make them even less happy at the MCG. 35 points splits the two.
Well, Jason, just can't blow out now, can it? Quickly they've scored in this quarter alone. They've done very well, West Coast, to start the way. Have 4 goals to...
That is a
0 at the moment.
Let's play it.
If it was a free kick, it was early in the contest, not when he paid it, which was late.
But right across the board, it's 7 inside 50s to nothing. Melbourne just haven't got things going in this quarter.
So suddenly, the West Coast Eagles out to a 35-point lead. They've kicked 8 of the last 9 goals of the game. And they've kicked 4 goals in 7.5 minutes.
23 disposals to 2.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Contested possessions, 8-1. Jones grabbed, thrown to the ground. And I must say, the rub of the green going against the Demons on a couple of free kicks. Jamar in the back will get the free kick. Jones under pressure. Bombs it high. 2-on-1 competition here. Glass thought was going to crash the pack. He just stayed back. Got the handball from Lacroix. Around the body he goes. And now the West Coast Eagles players are starting to really lead their players to the ball. Up and off Marsden's foot over the bound, on the line out of bounds. But they are really lifting now, Josh.
They've gone up a gear. The question is, can Melbourne answer? They've got to fight back now.
And this is where David King, what you said earlier today about them keeping their composure, not panicking. You can just see the jitters starting to come into Melbourne at the moment.
That's better though, Ed. Just a work rate there to present, to provide an option. It's great to see Bale back out there and get on the end of this. But just stay controlled, make the West Coast defend every possession. Good, solid play.
Good kick from Bale, good lead from Sylvia. Nice strong mark.
He's got no tall option.
And there's the spare, so he's got to be careful with this kick.
Well, Jamar needs to come up from full forward, and he never did at any stage.
So Hearn was the spare you heard. Hearn was the one who was going to mark it.
Mark Jamar is 10 metres away. All he had to do was run 20 metres to give that tall option.
And as a result, they go. Marston out to Lacroix. Brad Johnson called it before even was looked up by Silver on that occasion. Cox has it on the wing position.
This is not the only third quarter demolition. Sydney have just kicked 11 goals to 1 against North Melbourne and Tassie.
Just got a boot on that.
Hearn's kicked a good one. The mark taken by Darling. Melbourne fans are animated. Their players must now not go into this show. They have to stand up here, Melbourne, as the ball goes over the line and out of bounds with him.
It's Sydney's biggest quarter ever since 1995. So third quarter used to be called the Premiership quarter. It still is sometimes.
Gary Lyon in the Triple M box there watching on as Lacroix kicks forward. Beautiful mark taken by guess who? Howard. Beautiful stuff. Transfers play. They need to get going here, Melbourne. As Frawley watched on by his uncle in the Triple M box, as we saw there, Danny Frawley, the former All-Australian fullback. The handball over the top was a good one. Came from McDonald. Now they're starting to move. Davey, what does he do here? Kicks around his body, kicks it out in front. It's a lovely kick. Jenner had the ball right in front of his eyes and spilt the mark. Now the handball comes out. Brennan runs the ball to Brown. Back to Brennan. Middle of the MCG. He comes out wide to the members' flank. There's 2 on 1 here. The fly was a good one from Pedersen, but it still spills to Hams. They're not big on him here, the MCG crowd, but he gets it out. And it's good running play by Gaff. Gaff, who put the torch to him by David King at half-time, is lifted in this third term. Frawley gets the ball out. Now Mitch Clark.
Just shaped it out to the wing. Favoured Tapscott. One clean possession here, and they will be away, but trying to get it clean was difficult for Bale. And in the end, McDonald needs Davey. Has to call on all the help he can. Looked inside. Saw Jones. They like that, the Melbourne fans. They're watching this closely. Back to Tapscott. A little bit of a collision amongst friends there.
They got numbers back, West Coast. Dean Cox behind the footy.
He's not involved here. He will be if it gets another possession. Shannon Burns. He'll have to go over Cox's head or around him, and as a result, in the confusion, he's kicked it through for nothing.
He wanted the left foot. That was the problem. Wrong angle for a left footer. He needed to back himself, have a bounce, and keep running.
So Cox was able to gain an extra metre or 2. Target Sinclair again. He's got it. He's shown something. The young man, good backup in the absence of Natanui. Up to the wing. Hands, they might like him, but he's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt.
Corky or
he's limping off. And Lacroix dancing his way through. Good pressure from Viney, but Lacroix is an outstanding player, and he's kept favourite Hill, who should be able to put it through. He marked it in the square, did he? No, he didn't.
Don't think it'll make too much difference. Gee, Lacroix was clever, just keeping the ball alive on the boundary line.
Great effort by Ashton Hams.
Yep.
So he comes around. Oh, did his best to miss it, but it's there.
you're right about Hams, because it looks like he cops a knee, maybe in the thigh, something like that. He's very sore, but then to continue on,
I think it's a calf. I think it's a
got in the calf.
Left calf, I think.
So therefore, to get up and going, we see here. So therefore, gets it on the lower part of the leg. Yeah, there you go. And then to still go on and kick the footy, that would hurt. That would seriously hurt.
So Hams not getting any sympathy from the Melbourne fans, but he's been fantastic this quarter. Kicked the opening goal to get them going, set up another goal, and with some real courage, limping, getting the ball away there, set up another one. And now, unfortunately for the Melbourne Football Club, the all too familiar story is just only a walk through. Beautiful play from Josh Hill, got the handball going to Darling, to the forward pocket. The ball bounces back into play, the exact opposite of what Melbourne fans wanted. Sinclair's been fantastic. His kick is a ripper. His kick is an absolute screamer. He gets his second of the quarter.
Jared Healy was all over him last week, Jason. Liked the way that he moved, and he's gone on from that performance today. And this is a great finish.
I think that probably 100 goes at that in cricket, maybe a couple of times. Well, we've spoken a lot about Melbourne, but I wonder what sort of rev up John Horsfeld gave West Coast at half-time because they found another couple of gears.
They've kicked the last 6 goals, the West Coast Eagles. John Horsfeld just have turned out another tall ruckman that can show some amazing ability and agility around goal. And young Sinclair. Now Melbourne's response will be telling. Jones got it to Sylvia. We see some hanging on. The Melbourne fans' thoughts are Hearn able to breathe a loose man and free up Shuey and use Pritis back into the middle. They can hang on here, the Eagles. They did have some good options going forward, but instead it falls for Sylvia. Nice collect. Under some pressure, Tapscott in the gloom at the MCG, deep for Clark. Had 2 to fly against Matt Jones. Clark there with him. Goes back. Viney. Clark again. Tried to measure the kick. Just didn't quite get the numbers right because Glass was able to nudge it through.
Melbourne defenders have to do something with Shannon Hearn. He's the spare at the moment. They're letting him go. He's the one that, as you mentioned, Jace, he's the one you've got to man up on. He's the one you've got to restrict that front and drive out of defence for that reason.
Like a laser straight onto Gaff's chest. They've kicked 10 of the last 11 goals since basically the 18-minute mark of the second term, the West Coast Eagles. We've currently been playing 16 minutes exactly into this, the third term. So it's been a dominant period. One behind only to Melbourne this quarter. Free kick going their way. Davey gets it on centre wing. Needs to get going. Beautiful kick. Opens up. Tringo. Little chip kick. Tapscott from inside 50. Needs to kick the goal and does. Well played, Demons. Well worked. Good goal.
That's well worked, Jace. Changed the angle with their kicking on that occasion. Davey was able to get it back through the corridor. Came back out to the half-forward flank where Tapscott and positioned himself well. This one here, really go by Davey. Good use through the middle of the ground. Tringo out to half-forward again. So just that diagonal kicking, change of direction, got Tapscott free, and he was able to kick an excellent goal from 50 metres.
So something for the Demons. Can they build on that? They've stopped the run of 6. Tapscott putting it through. Cox and Jamar again. Split the difference. Kerr and Sylvia, good to see him getting in there, getting down and dirty, Colin Sylvia. He's kicked a couple of goals today, had 11 disposals. Lights are on Kingy. Is there any rain about at the moment? Get back to you in a moment. Kerr. Shuey. Barnstorming run out of the middle. Luke Shuey had time to size it all up. I'd be pretty disappointed with the result.
Just reaching for the poncho, when you ask that question. It's not raining at the moment, but it's threatening. It looks like it's about to bucket down. It's got quite dark in here. Clearly the lights are on. Just getting going as we speak, just warming up. But it may hold off, which is great news for the boundary riders.
Turler kicks out. Jamar. Selwood. Long kick. Here we go. Lacroix from the side. Decided to sit down and wait for it. He might get it out the back door. Here is Embly's tackled beautifully by Turler. Ball spills. Frawley gets his little kick on it at the back. Still lurking. It was Lacroix, but it was Jenner who picked it up. Another touch. Play on. Bale. Can't get a trick every time he goes near it. He's getting clobbered at the moment. Viney. Little handle inside was magnificent. Took the hit and got it away. Now, here's a chance for Evans. Over the top it goes to Pedersen. Moving nicely. Back to Evans. Got the handball working inside from Tapscott. He's turned it over. Selwood. Hearn. Last tackled hard, gets the free kick.
Just that last one there. That's where the tackle needs to be effective. Just keep the ball locked in that area. Worked well the D's to try and work it through. West Coast closed them up quite well, but that last effort, that's where you need to be effective.
See what we are noticing already in the third term, a lot of players finding space, a lot of the pressure's dropped out of the game.
Hearn seized on the opportunity. Again, a deep probing kick. They're trying to get to the back. And it's Kennedy's ball. Is advantage paid? Yeah, it's a goal. 2 to Cox.
The worst thing is he didn't need to give away the free kick then, because Kennedy wasn't in position to mark the footy. He was working him under it, but for some reason he just grabs his right arm and pulls on it, Colin Garland. You can't do that. No point complaining. You can't wrap two arms around an opponent's arm and not allow him to put it up in contesting for the footy. But he had position to work him under the football. I don't think Kennedy was a serious chance of marking it, so completely unnecessary free kick to give away.
Dean Cox is back to his best today as well. 17 disposals, 2 goals, 1.
And out of the centre again, Sinclair got the tap. What a luxury the West Coast Eagles building into their season. Now they've got Sinclair, Natanui still to come back. Cox playing at full forward. McCrae back from a broken arm and playing in the midfield and getting plenty of it. And Prentice now tracks the ball and picks it up. They lead by 47 points and they're starting to really put the boot down. Gaff must have heard David King at half-time because he has certainly lifted. Jetta flew before acceptances.
Yeah, it's a couple of times this quarter I've seen Neville Jetta do that. I have no idea why he's flying in packs when he's one of the smallest men out on the ground. Makes no sense.
Throw in, the ball will land right on the 50-metre arc, or close enough to it. Jamar does well, down to Jones, under pressure, got the handball going. Quick kick by the other Jones, in Matt Jones.
And Ham's back out there running that tackle, Ed, so that's good news for West Coast.
And Selwood kicks long to the square, Cox right underneath it. Couldn't quite get it in the end. Darling was the man at the front of the pack. That was great play from Darling. He just stepped into the oncoming pack, got the first grab, kept his feet, got the second grab, and he'll line up for goal for his third goal.
I think Ham's the last 5 minutes out there.
Tom McDonald and the Melbourne supporters looking at the replay think you got a fist on it, but if you're in front and your hands are the ones that have the ball punched away from it and you then take the second grab, they always pay that. They pay the man in front.
So Darling's been in good form. 2 goals so far. Make that 3. And the Eagles are now starting to take Melbourne apart.
So here's Darling in front. It's off hands. Maybe not even his at the first attempt, but benefit of the man in front. That's what happens.
Down to David King.
Chris Marston's a story for me, boys. He's had 23 disposals today. You can just see them on the screen there. 10 of those have been score involvements in this third term. He's had 5 alone, so it's been a very damaging quarter. 80 games. It's about time this young man arrived into the leadership group for the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, it's a good call, Kingy. He's a high draft pick. It's taken a while. Chris Marston now, he's a high possession winner and he's always had the ability to get forward and kick a goal. The Eagles needed a win this afternoon to be off and running. They seem to have that in hand, but Melbourne really need to show a bit of guts and resilience and determination late in this third term. This was when West Coast have done the damage early on in the match, so Melbourne need to turn the tables a little bit here. Grimes, it's going to be a bounce. Got to at least be able to stem the flow, John, wouldn't they?
They have to, and I think they try to get the loose back behind the ball, but that left turn free for West Coast, more damaging in that position. Not as proactive around the stoppages either. They went third man up a lot in the second quarter and got some benefit from that.
It's touch, so not a mark this time. Kennedy just cornered, hemmed in beautiful by Garland, but he didn't panic. Top of the square, they'll go again. Schofield's down there, and so is Darling. What a combination, 4 goals for Darling. And 4 goals for Kennedy. You'd love to have him in your forward line.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? And I think it was Frawley who comes across, just doesn't get a fist on the ball, and Darling was just at the back and benefited from it. Kennedy's work here was excellent as well. Did well to get around Garland and get it. That's what they love. The deep ball in, Frawley across. McDonald couldn't get their hands on it. Easy goal, Darling.
The inside 50s, West Coast just absolutely belting Melbourne now. It's gone over 40 to 28. And, well, we spoke, Jason, the forward line, they're always going to be too strong, but they have really taken them to the cleaners now. 4 to Kennedy, 4 to Darling, and 2 to Cox. There's your 10 goals, and the margin is 59 points, pretty much 10 goals.
Look, there's an obvious class difference between the two sides, I think, but also the intensity has dropped off from the Demons. I mean, the crowd's gone out of the game because they can't see anything worth cheering about. It was 10 points at half-time. It's now 10 goals and not 3/4 time.
Seeing some of the stats in the quarter, which are fairly damning as far as the Demons are concerned. Top left hand of the screen. This is Evans. One-on-one, almost for Viney. He followed up well to apply a tackle, but they're going to get away. Schofield, look at him bound out of defence. And the Eagles chock full of confidence now. Darling will fly again. And there's Eagles at ground level. And hitting in hard well was Evans, but the sheer numbers, the numerical advantage working in the Eagles' favour. Marston probing kick again to half forward. Garland wins a mini battle that time. Frawley there in support. Gaff. And they're over.
Well, unfortunately, when you talk about numbers and numerical advantage, that's the product of work rate. And it's definitely dropped off from Melbourne. I think that effort of the first half has taken its toll. Yep. We heard Mark Neal say prior to the game, we want to be as bold and competitive as we can for as long as we can. Well, they've certainly dropped off in this third term.
Salah couldn't combat Cox at all. Armchair ride for Prentice, and now for Hill and Kennedy for 5. What a quarter. Well, what a domination this has been for the West Coast Eagles, and what firepower they have up forward.
Kennedy kicked 5 last week, 5 straight. His first 2 shots today weren't that good at all. Since then, the radar has returned, and he's kicked 5 goals too so far this afternoon. Him and Darling have been sensational today.
Hasn't that story changed? They were up and about in the first half, the D's fans. They were cheering, they were joyous, they were breaking out in laughter. It was an incredible first half that they hadn't seen for a long time, but unfortunately an all too familiar story now.
Well, we better get the record books out, because the West Coast Eagles have now kicked 10 goals to this quarter, and we have still got, as you can see, just under 4 minutes left in this quarter, so there's more goals to come. Melbourne have only kicked 1 goal, 1 for the term.
I'll tell you what, that last set of bounce, that's twice they've let Daniel Kerr spin around completely in a 360-degree circle and then get the ball away.
Found themselves at a loose man and half forward. Shane Burns had a luxury that they couldn't afford, trying to take the extra time. And obviously nothing to go to. Gaff to Kerr. Again, what a terrific performance from Prentice again. And this midfield's really got cranking in this quarter. So casual now. The appearance of last week, just for a moment there. Hill over to Marston. Into half forward. Hams hampered, but he's boxing on. And that's dropping the ball, holding the footy against Brennan. So the Demons able to successfully round them up. Peterson gives for Burns. And get themselves into the clear. Evans back again. Nice little angled pass.
Yeah, good wrestle behind play. He's going to go to West Coast. It's against Mitch Clark. He just monstered.
Poor old Ron Bale, he cannot take a kick. He finally had the footy on his own. Taking the mark, and even then he loses it.
Kingy, Gaff, 7 disposals this quarter, 100% by foot. But your point probably is when the game's hot, that's when you'd like him to start getting more possession.
I think this highlights the importance of that role that Andrew Gaff plays. They've kicked 10 goals this term because he's been involved. He's been that connector between rebound 50 to inside 50.
Sure, he kicks up to Sinclair. Usually from Bo Morris. And the kick inside is going to be another goal coming up here. Look at this Hill. No, just off the shin of Evans and through for a rush behind. They've kicked 14 of the last 16 goals from the 18-minute mark of the second quarter, Chase.
Yeah, it's a little bit, unfortunately, it's soured what was an impressive first half from the Demons, and we're back where we were over the last couple of weeks, thinking there's no desperation, there's no serious work ethic, gut running to try and create a contest. It's just dropped right off.
Hearn just walks out of the pack. Shuey, beautiful care, corner that lace up, and Hams will line up. So good to see him back on the ground after that corky. And Hams, who kicked the first goal of the quarter, could well kick the last.
It's how quickly it drops off as well, Jay. It's not a gradual drop off over a quarter and a half. It was basically instant.
This for the West Coast Eagles' highest ever third term score. 11-1 is their best result, and that is a record at the MCG. History in the making, And unfortunately for the Demons, for the second week in a row, they're on the receiving end of it.
You know, look, I don't want to be too harsh on Jack Ryan. I think he's a good player and he's always trying to help. But he's on Ashton Hams, and you can just see him there. He's 2 or 3 metres off him, ready to double back and help if the long kick goes forward. You've got to beat your opponent first, and he's a leading option. He's got space to run into. They're winning the ball further afield. You've got to be side by side with him. You can't be sitting a couple of metres off.
Hams is gone. You know, you look at him there. He's struggling. Yeah. If he's next to him, he probably takes front position and takes the mark.
Yeah.
Well, the Eagles are coming down on their greatest ever score in a quarter. 11 goals 4 is their record so far. And, of course, at this juncture in time, they are 11 goals 3. So they're a point off their greatest ever quarter score. And, of course, don't forget last week, Essendon was 8 goals to 1 against Melbourne in the third term. And as we know, it's 11-3 at the moment. So the third quarter killing the Demons.
Pedersen, so they might be able to defend here for 50 seconds, Melbourne, and deny that record for West Coast. Because they have some numbers on the wing. It was almost 50. Tapscott swings and kicks wide for Clark, very wide. And the benefit of that is it's out of bounds and not in West Coast hands, but they've just missed an opportunity there.
Contested possession as well, 44 to 18 in this quarter. That just shows the mindset that West Coast had.
What about the clearances of 14 to 5.
Sylvia shapes the kick. Clark, was it a free? It has to be. Nice. Wild up here. Curtis couldn't contain it. Emily could. Marston, we're down to 17 seconds. Great tackle on Endeavour by Jenna. I was going to say, surely that had to be rewarded.
It just looked like they're getting the rough end of the stick. The rubber the greens going against them as far as decisions are going. We saw Clark ping. Now he's got both arms around him. If that's not a free kick to the forward, and Mitch Clark goes, well, I don't know what to do now. I've been pinged for wrestling before. I don't wrestle this time. I just get thrown off it. And I get the free kick.
Sylvia, a late lunge here for the Demons. The clock's going to be the main enemy. Frustration for Mitch Clark. Balling over. Brennan didn't like it, and he let him know about it. And frustration for Melbourne fans. They've seen their team just squashed again in this third quarter. 11-3 to 1-1. Margin is 72 points in three-quarter time.
Good description there, Anthony. They were squashed, weren't they? They were just beaten up physically and beaten for Endeavour at the ball. The West Coast Eagles now lead by 72 points, having led by just 10 at half-time. They put a 62-point margin in the space of a quarter.